Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. I'm your host, Juliette Clark, and today's guest, you guys have all been sending me emails saying, I want to know more about TikTok. I want to know more about TikTok. So today we have Atina Veen, and she is the founder and CEO of BookInfluencers.com and the co-founder of ChallyPop. Both companies have a strong focus on book marketing, from book tours to TikTok, Spark ads, promotions, and UGC content. Atina lives in the Netherlands and works from home with a team of freelancers from all over the world. So you're finally going to get the scoop on how to use TikTok influencers. And I'm really excited for all of you guys. Now that it's changed over to US, I'm even more excited because I wasn't a big fan of TikTok before when China owned it. But now I think Atina can, kind of lower some of those fears of information being stolen and things like that. So stay tuned for the conversation with Atina and I. Welcome, Atina. It's great to have you on the show.
Thank you. Great to be here.
You are welcome. So many of my people are constantly asking me about TikTok, and I've been really hesitant. You and I had this discussion because the Chinese owned it, now the Americans owned it, and I know you probably have some updates on that because it's changed a little bit. But tell me why you got into this, how you got into this.
Got into TikTok and BookTok, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I used to work as a freelance social media manager for big corporate companies in the Netherlands. That was like maybe 10 years ago till about 5 years ago. And one of my last jobs was to work for the Dutch Royal Library in The Hague. And they used to have an app called Online Bibliotheek, which means online library. And that would offer ebooks and audiobooks to the Dutch citizens for a very cheap price, and with the idea of, motivating people to read more. And we would use all these different marketing techniques to actually reach the audience, because first you need to make sure that you get into their homes so they even know about the app. So we used all these different ways like newsletters and stuff like that. But we also figured out that it would make a lot of sense to use creators on Instagram and later on also on TikTok, but that was not a thing 5 years ago. So it was mostly Instagram and YouTube. And we would talk to these 20, 25-year-old girls who had a huge passion for reading. And I was very intrigued by them because they were so enthusiastic about sharing their passion with anyone who wanted to listen to them. So I basically contracted them to make content for the library to talk about the app. And they would encourage their followers to test the app. And from that idea came more and more collaborations between the library and them. And then I would used to talk to them in a bar, just to have a chat after work. And they would tell me about the frustrations they were having as well, because they saw that influencers in fashion or in traveling, they would get all these opportunities and they had basically nothing other than getting a free book now and then. So I thought about that for a while, and then I decided, well, maybe there's a business there and I should start a company helping those book influencers to connect with authors and publishers. So that's how I started BookInfluencers.com, and we basically facilitate book tours and also campaigns on TikTok. And later on, I set up an extra company, a new company called ChallyPop, where we do UGC campaigns. So we do all sorts of marketing campaigns, but for the book industry.
That's great. Can you define a UGC campaign for my audience in case they don't know what that is?
Yes, of course. So we are used to asking influencers to post on their personal channels, right? Because we like to reach their audiences through them. But UGC campaigns UGC is user generated content. which is authentic and strong, and people believe in user-generated content more than in commercial-like videos and content. So what we see companies do is that they ask creators to make videos or pictures that those companies may use on their corporate channels and in their corporate ads, like the Meta ads and the TikTok ads. So it doesn't feel too salesy. It feels more genuine. So the big difference between the regular influencer campaigns in UGC is that the influencer will not post the content onto their personal channel. They will not give you the reach of their channel, but they will give you their creativity and make something for you to use as an author or as a publisher.
Oh, that's great, because that takes out that corporate, like that really stiff video that people are using and makes it very authentic. So I can see how that would be much more a much more effective tool to sell things, because it doesn't feel like they're being sold to.
Right. It doesn't feel like an ad. People feel like they are still watching a regular BookTok video, or it feels less salesy.
Yeah, exactly. So let me ask you this, because one of the things we talked about a little bit when we discussed this before the interview was the values. So how did your earlier experience with book influencers and working with creators shape your core mission and your values behind ChallyPop? Because I thought that conversation we had was really important about your values.
So you mean our values in terms of that we are pro-diversity and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly.
If you work in the book community, you will see, of course, we are all individuals and everyone has their own thing that they are interested about. But I think for many people in the book community, they are very open-minded. They are very interested, many. So I'm saying they, I don't mean that's 100%, but a lot of them are very open-minded, interested in what's happening in the world, critical of people that they think are doing the wrong things to minorities. So the book community is it's a very caring community and a very open to different ethnicities, different minorities, to different perspective. Most of them are also very supportive of the LGBTQ community. So it can sometimes be limiting as well, of course, because there are also books that might not fit into that regular community. And I'm not saying that all people in the book community are the same, because obviously they are not. Right. But it's something that we always keep in mind if authors and publishers come to us, and if they have a book that we think is maybe stepping on a lot of toes, then we don't go there, because we don't want to make people angry, basically.
Yeah, we don't want to be controversial, basically.
Right.
But I definitely agree with you that I think people who are readers do keep up on world events more, just because they're readers. They're interested in a lot of different things they see. So, well, thank you for that, because I did want to get to that, because that was such an important part of our conversation that we had. Right. So for someone who's completely new to all of this, can you explain, well, you did a little bit of explaining about what ChallyPop is, but what is the typical challenge that that someone would work with you guys would have from a creator's perspective? Sure, I can speak. It's Monday.
So what you mean, what the UGC campaign would entail?
Well, just there's challenges for creators doing it themselves versus what you guys do. So let's say that I'm super uncomfortable, like I'm a creator as well, but let's say that I wasn't, and I'm super uncomfortable doing these things. What sort of challenges can you help these people overcome by creating that for them?
Okay, so the UGC campaigns that we are running, we reach out to creators that we think are a good fit for a book. So UGC campaigns can be done for every genre, basically from fiction to nonfiction, from very difficult subjects for children's books, everything. But the most important thing is that we will always look for creators that are relevant to the subject. So let's say a publisher comes to us with a book on endometriosis, then we would search for a creator that knows what it is because of firsthand experience and can talk about it. It's more about storytelling. So we will never ask a creator to fantasize, meaning they don't have to make up a story to promote something. They should more talk from their own experiences, because that's way more authentic. And if I don't have a disease like that or a situation like that, so if I would have to speak about endometriosis, I would have no idea what to say. I would probably read the back of the cover to tell people, what the book would be about. For creators, it's important that they can relate to the subject. And if you can relate to the subject, you're more natural in speaking about it, even speaking about it on camera. Because I think the biggest tip for any creator is please try and make a video, speak to the camera in a way you would speak to a friend, and how you would explain why you're enthusiastic about something and why it moves you. So of course we cannot create creators. They are already there. Mm-hmm. And so if a publisher or an author comes to us, we would first look within the community that's already there, that's creating videos and feels comfortable on screen. But yeah, you can teach people how to be more natural on screen as well.
Yeah, no, and going back to that endometriosis, if you have someone who's actually experienced, they actually know what are those pain points, what are that, and it comes off very authentically versus, oh, I just read this on Perplexity or ChatGPT, and now I'm going to regurgitate it back to you.
And we could all do it, right? If it would be as simple as that. But also with a children's picture book, you'd rather have a mother reading it to her child and then using the feedback that the child gives about how to then sell that book to the viewers than a 17-year-old talking about a children's picture book. That makes no sense. So we always search for creators that fit the story, that fit the book. And sometimes the conclusion is it's impossible because we cannot find anyone that has a relation to the subject. That can happen. Most of the time, we do find people, though.
Yeah, exactly. And just so you guys know, we'll give you her website at the end, but this is not something where you just go click and you buy. She looks at every book so that she knows that she can provide someone that will do a really good job. And I think that's really important too. It's just not a click, Atina, take it, do it, and you're just like, what do I do with this?
No, definitely not. If I get a question from a client, I will first ask, please give me some details about the book. What's your website link or your Amazon link? And we will take a look and discuss within the team, is this doable for us? And if we think it's undoable, we will say right away. And if we think it is doable, then we will, of course, help you and make a pre-selection of candidates and come back to you with a few names and say, hey, these are people that we think would be a good fit, and here's why. And please choose your favorite from these people that are willing to create content for you. And of course, it's also possible to work with multiple creators. So yeah, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. No.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of not a tricky question, but a lot of marketers out there, they're facing shrinking budgets. Creators are, I don't know, I think a lot of them are fatigued and feeling like they're underpaid when they do it themselves as well. Yeah. How do you persuade a skeptical marketing team? How do you persuade them that you're the answer to work with them? Because I look at the quality of your work and I was persuaded pretty easily. But like if you're the average person who you have all these choices, you can, like, I know people go over to Fiverr. I can't figure out why, because you don't know what you're getting there. Like, why would they choose you guys?
I think because we know and we are within the book community. When we started this story with me being at the Royal Library, wanting to work with influencers, right? So what I did at first, because I thought that was the easy solution, is that I went to various websites offering influencer services, and I would sign up and I would pay, and then I would start my search, being totally demotivated after, because I get all these girls in bathing suits and these boys with big muscles, and no one was actually a reader. So yes, maybe you will find people who are interested in working with you simply because you're waving some dollars at them. But don't you want to work with people that actually read, and then also read the subject that you wrote about, that have a relation to the subject that you wrote about? So I am very convinced that us being within the book community, specializing in books, gives us a head start over all those more general agencies that have other interests and are more into other sectors, other
niches, sort of niches,
or travel or jewelry. We are book focused. Books only. So yeah, it doesn't get more specialized than that, I guess. And yeah, I think that would be the main reason to come to us.
Do you find people are reading less and less? I'm sort of noticing that a lot. Do you guys do audiobooks? Because I feel like people are moving a little bit more towards the audiobooks.
I don't feel that necessarily, but I also think that my reality, being in the book community almost 100% of my working time, is not very, have to be realistic. Not all my friends read, but working in a book community, it sometimes feel that everyone reads, right? Because you're within that book community. I don't know if audiobooks are more interesting. I like reading audiobooks to combine it with any core, or having to drive the car and then putting on an audiobook, because it's an easy way to fill up my time while doing something. I don't know if people are reading less, or I have not looked into any reports on that lately. So maybe it's true. Not sure.
Yeah.
We don't feel that, meaning that I don't have less work.
Right. Do you guys, because I see the audiobooks on the rise, and to be honest, I really don't have a lot of time to read anymore. But as I sit here and work all day, I listen to audiobooks because I love mysteries. So do you guys promote the audiobooks at all? Do your influencers do that?
Yeah, we are actually working with a client right now that does audiobooks only. So then we have creators making videos, with their headphones on and pretending to listen to the audiobook while making a video about it. I think there was, we had quite some fun in the team lately when we had this erotic kind of series coming to us in audiobooks, and then creators having to make videos about that, pretending they were shocked to hear what they were hearing. And it was a lot of fun making that kind of content for the client who actually wanted that kind of content, right? So
yes. Yeah, and I could see that being popular. I'll tell a really quick story here. When my daughter played Premier Soccer, we were at a game, and all of these women next to me had their iPads out and they were reading, and I was listening to 50 Shades of Grey and watching the game. I was the only one cheering, and finally I looked at them and I'm like, "Are you guys reading 50 Shades of Grey?" And they're like, "Yeah, don't tell our kids." But none of them. So at least I could get away with cheering because I was listening to the book.
So preoccupied.
Right. So, how has ChallyPop changed the way you personally think about creativity and work and being a creator yourself? Because, you kind of went from working from someone else where you probably had directives and different goals than you do today. How did all that change for you?
Yeah, well, so I started my story by telling I was a freelancer, and then I started my platform, bookinfluencers.com. 2 years ago, I became very sick. I had a diagnosis of lymphoma. And I came into a very difficult situation in which I was very terrified of losing my company. And then I reached out to a competitor, basically, which is Tandem Collective in the United Kingdom, simply asking them, would you be willing to take over my company from me because I'm dying? I was quite certain at that moment, also because what the doctor said, that I wasn't going to make it. And I asked her to take over my company and keep my freelancers that I hired at the moment at work. And she told me, she didn't know me before, right? We only met because of that very difficult situation. And she said to me, I will help you. I will babysit your company so that you can focus on getting healthy and get back. So she could have totally, she could have done really bad things to me by taking over the company, even though I handed it to her basically, but she didn't. So she babysat my company, gave me the time to undergo chemotherapy and focus on myself. So after a little less than a year, I survived because I'm still sitting here. And when I came back, she had voice noted me while I was in my bed and trying to get through chemotherapy. And I was not interested in work whatsoever, even though I'm quite a workaholic. When I was sick, I didn't have energy or time to listen to anything. But she would now and then voice note me about how things were going, and then she would pop in some idea and to trigger me a bit to keep on thinking about the book community and work. So when I got better and I came back to my company and was ready to take over the role of the CEO again, I said to her, remember when you sent me a voice note 3 months ago about this and this idea? That was the idea of the UGC campaigns. I said, I'm really interested in going forward with that. Would you want to go into a business together with me? So from that horrible situation where we were two companies, so me with bookinfluence.com and her with Tandem, we both still have our own companies, but now also together we have ChallyPop. So ChallyPop is the baby of a very difficult situation. So the UGC campaigns with ChallyPop come from a situation of, well, a terrible situation basically, but we still work together now.
What a great story about a really dark time. My next question was, what has been the hardest part of your journey so far as a co-founder, and how did you navigate that? I think you answered that in advance. It's funny, we have an author, Sandy Duarte, who stage 4 lymphoma and as well. And she kept a journal called Cancer Ramblings, and she now goes to cancer centers. And it just kind of it inspires people that were in your position that, there is life after this and you're going to be okay. And I mean, some people aren't okay, but, just those raw feelings at the time, she shared those with people, and it really resonates because they're like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm going through. And, you made it out, and so can I. So I should introduce you guys sometimes. You probably really like each other. So if you could change one widespread belief in the publishing and brand marketing world about paying creators, because so many people don't want to pay creators, what would that be?
Look at your own life. If you get asked to create something for someone, you want to do a good job, right? You want to put in the time. So in terms of books, is people put in the time for you to read your book. And not only that, then they go to camera and make a really nice picture and share their thoughts. Or even better, they make a video, try to create something that is motivating to their followers. And they give you the platform of their channel that they have been building for, many have been building that for years and years. So they are sharing the product that you gave them with their following. That is a huge gift. It is a huge gift. And I know that a lot of authors are like, yeah, but I'm giving them a free book. I know, but they get free books all the time. The good creators get free books on pretty much a daily basis, and they have to choose between which book am I going to put first this time. And I think incentivizing creators has nothing to do with, bribing them to do something. It's a token of your appreciation for the fact that you are choosing my book over the other. And I appreciate you for taking the time, putting in all your creativity to make something nice, and showing my book to the following that you have worked on so hard. So I think it's only just fair to compensate them. And it doesn't even have to be thousands of dollars, like for some other industries where people get paid huge amounts of money to create something. But a little token of appreciation, I think it's normal to do something like that. Like anyone,
it is.
If you ask anyone to do something for you that is not within your family, wouldn't you feel like, oh, I have to give something in return to compensate, even if it's just baking an apple pie? You give someone a thank you for energy that they put in. And I think that could be the same for creators putting in their creativity, their energy, and giving you access to their followers.
Yes. And you guys, that's one thing that really impresses me about this group is they are very reasonably priced out there. I mean, when I looked, I was very impressed with that. Okay, last question. When you imagine ChallyPop 5 years from now, what does success look like for you in terms of impact on creators and on that widening marketing ecosystem?
ChallyPop 5 years from now, I am not so much the person that looks so far ahead normally, because I know things change so much all the time.
That's true.
With TikTok, like I said, when we started this interview, TikTok was not a thing 5 years ago. And now it's TikTok all over the place. So if I would schedule everything 5 years ahead, maybe there's another type of TikTok then that is taking over everything, and I have to shift all my plans, etc. For it. So to know where it's going, I like to be, and that's why I started the business in the first place, and I didn't want to work at a big corporate anymore. I like to be flexible, and I like to be able to adjust to new situations and find new ideas and be creative about things coming on our path and trying things, even if they fail, and then get back up and look at other opportunities. So Naomi, who is the CEO of Tandem, and we both have ChallyPop, and we are always looking around us and motivating our team. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open. We want to know what's happening within the book community, but also beyond the book community. What is happening in influencer and creator land? What can we adapt to? What do publishers and authors need at this moment? So how should we adapt to that and help them move forward? So for me, the most important thing when I look at ChallyPop for the next 5 years is that we will be able to cater to our clients and keep on helping them with all the changes in the world in tech and in social media. So my plan would be to still be relevant to our clients and not stick too much in the past, because Twitter, what is Twitter? It doesn't even exist anymore. So just adjust and make sure that we keep on helping authors and publishers to reach readers and to make sure people keep on reading.
Yeah, that is such a great answer, because I don't know about other businesses out there, but the publishing book industry is one that changes constantly. I mean, I'm still looking. We have the Perfect Reader Playbook that just came out, and I'm looking at, the past couple years where, things have shifted altogether. Last summer, Amazon changed their algorithms altogether. So we all had to adjust. And I still had people coming to us that had taken classes that are like, no, you're wrong about Amazon. I'm like, how long ago did you take this class? Yes. So it does shift constantly. So that was a great answer, because as entrepreneurs in this industry, we have to be shifting all the time. And I love that you admitted you failed, because I failed too. I feel like.
Oh, yes. It's part of being an entrepreneur. It's part of it. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
If we don't try, we don't succeed either, you know.
Yeah, that is very, very true. So, Atina, if we want to find out more, how do we get a hold of you so that we can find out more about what you do, what your offerings are? And again, you guys, her offerings are very reasonably priced. And she has a very trustworthy business in this industry. I would go to her before I would look at Fiverr, before I would, contact an online TikTok person. I mean, this is really solid stuff here. And I think you could save yourself a lot of heartache going here instead of some of these outside sources. So where do we find you?
Thank you so much for all those beautiful compliments. So the easiest way to reach me is by just emailing me, Antina at bookinfluencers.com. That's the easiest route. Just tell me who you are, which book you wrote, or which books you have on your slate that you're interested in talking about, and what direction you're looking for. And then from that, we can, discuss. Maybe we can do a video call to get to know each other, and that I understand what you're looking for, and then we will see from there. So, yeah, let's chat first.
That sounds good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show today.
You're very welcome, and good luck with your podcast.
Thank you.